Tower 2648, descend and maintain 7,000.
Alright, descend to 7,000, Delta 2648.
Boy 3130, reduce speed to 210.
Push speed on board 3130.
Alright, United 887, approaching bridge for 2 left.
United 887, San Francisco Chair, wing come, runway 2 left, third lane.
3 left, third lane, United 887.
Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Southern Aviators here again, and in this flight we're going to take a Pacific flight from Sydney, Australia to Los Angeles International in the United States. We will be operating as United Flight 840. Flight is going to take us across the Southern Pacific and then over to the Northern Pacific. It's going to be Dipsy, then the en route structure, and then we're going to go Buffy 4 arrival to the rosin transition. Estimated time en route is going to be pretty long, 13 hours and 29 minutes. Fuel is going to be 258,000 pounds. Takeoff weight will be 678.9 thousand pounds. So we're pretty heavy. Alternate is going to be Ontario, and for our ETOPS airports, we're going to use Sydney, and then Faleolo, I believe it's pronounced. Probably butchered that. And then we're going to go Hilo, which is an airport on the Hawaiian Islands, and then Los Angeles. Alright, so I guess let's go inside and get a pre-flight going. Alright, so first up, I'm going to go ahead and get the inertial reference system going. We have the ground power hooked up and APUs off at the moment. Looks like it's a little dark in the cockpit because of the shadows. But hopefully that won't be too much of a problem. So let's get these windows set up here and then we'll start our pre-flight. Alright, so since it's a little dark, I want to make sure everybody can see. I'll go ahead and use the flight management computer here off to the side. Alright, so first let's grab the GPS position and place it in there so the airplane knows where it is. Alright, so what do we do first? Alright, so let's go ahead and get the fuel set in place. Alright, so as stated, fuel is going to be 258.0. Hang on here just a second. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the flight plan on a... Alright, so okay, fuel's in 258.0. Alright, so now the zero fuel weight is going to be 422.3. Alright, get that placed in. Alright, so next up, let's get our route set in place. So, alright, so it says Y is in. So let's request. Should be one route, and there is. Alright, so let's request that. Might take a second for it to load, but we'll hang out and wait on it. Using the Fly Tampa scenery today. It's a beautiful scenery. Alright, so let's load this. I've only gotten to use it once before, but thought it was pretty accurate. Loved it a lot while I was here. Alright, activate. It's going to be 16 left. Excuse me, 16 right. And the flight number is going to be 840. Alright, so perfinite. We're going to be using cost index of 21 actually. Alright, so let's change that. Alright, so let's load the winds. Alright, next for the descent forecast, let's load that. Alright, so next we got the arrival runway in. There's no departure, it's going to be direct dipso, I believe it is. Correct, direct dipso. Alright, so next, let's go here. Transition altitude is going to be 11,000. Alright, so we got an econ in. Need to get an arrival runway, so there should be 25 left when we get over to Los Angeles, so let's get that placed in. Alright, so now I should be able to get a descent profile, which I do. So we're going to adjust this and make it 310 indicator instead of 255. Don't need to come down that slope. Alright, and the transition altitude of 18,000 in the United States is already set in by default. Alright, so let's get the arrival for LA. So it'll be Buffy 4, Rosen transition. Let's put the Sydney 6 in so that way we can get that plus the vectors placed in. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and put that up there. So now we're going to climb to 800 feet and then make our left turn to dipso. Alright. So let's see, next, I guess I should go ahead and put in my ETOPS info. So let's go to Route 2 legs page. This is never fun, but it's necessary, I guess. Alright, and then Los Angeles. Alright. So now we finally got all that set up. Now I'm just going to go over and check it. I want to make sure it all looks the way I think it should. So we have that. That looks right. First equal time point. And then back to that point. Alright, second equal time point. And then helo to the equal time point, and then to Los Angeles. Alright, so we finally have that all placed in. That was about the hardest one I've ever put in. Usually it's not that hard, but I let it confuse me there for a second because we're using 4 different airports. Usually it's 2 or 3 for me, so this is the first time I've entered 4 into the box or to the flight management computer like that. But in any case, alright, so let's move forward with the pre-flight setup. So let me get that changed back to map and then zoom it back in, so we can close that. Alright, so I do believe that that's going to be it as far as the pre-flight on the flight management computer is concerned. Let me fast forward a bit here.
I'm back from the walk around. Everything looks good.
Thanks.
Hi guys, can we start boarding now?
Yes. 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 Oh, it's muted. I do that all the time. Yes.
Thanks.
Alright, let me get fast forward. So first I was going to do airflow. And let's get the boarding going. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do, so let's get the VORs going. Auto throttle is going to be off. Flight director on. It should be in using a metric system for the altimeters. Alright, so heading, we want to use track and altitude. I'm going to go ahead and put 31,000 in there because I don't have ATC. When I first actually opened the computer up or logged on to it, Sydney approach was on, but now they've gone to bed, I guess, over in Sydney, so I guess that'll be that. So we're gonna put in 31 for the initial altitude. Let me check that and see what the initial cruise should be. So optimum we had 310, so that's perfect there. So yeah, 310. All right. So now that all that is done, while she's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and connect to vPilot.
TCAS test pass.
All right, like I said, I do apologize for the cockpit being so dark right now. That's only because of the direction that the airplane is positioned, you know, with the sun and all. When we get pushed out and we get the airplane turned to a different direction, it'll get a lot brighter in the cockpit. Let's just say that. All right, so she's done with her checklist. So I guess I will go ahead and do the pre-flight checklist. But first, got to set the parking brake. I almost always forget to do that. And let's check the oxygen. Pre-flight checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Test at 100%.
Tested 100%. Flight instruments.
Heading 241. Altimeter 1019 set.
Heading 241. Altimeter 1019. Fuel control switches.
Cut off.
Pre-flight checklist complete.
Alright, so it looks like FS2 Cruise accidentally left the window open, but that's fine. I'm not going to gripe about that too much. She'll close it on the next checklist. Alright, so next, let's get the departure briefing going. So, okay. Alright, so all that looks good. Alright, so got the briefing page done, so she'll know what's going on there. Alright, so next up, I guess the only thing left to do now is to get the weights in. Alright, so for the weights, it's going to be flaps 5. We'll go over these real quick. The thrust is going to be 35C with a TO of 1. Speed is going to be 69, 72, and 75. Top Cat speeds agree with what PMDG has in here for the flight management computer, so we'll go with that. And the trim is going to be 4.7. So sounds like they're still loading outside. Looks like they're wrapping it up now. I got one more can to load in the rear. So they should be wrapping up here in a second, and when they get that done, we'll go ahead and get on out of here. Alright, so looks like they finished up loading the cargo. So we'll jump back into the cockpit here, and we'll get we'll try to get on out of the gate here. So let's see. Let's go ahead with the. I want to get the MCP set up. So V2 is going to be 175, and the initial heading is going to be 155. Alright, so that's all set up. Alright, so let's check the doors and make sure that's all good. Alright, so we need to close these doors on the outside. And it looks like the cargo doors is closed. They're closing the entry door right now. Gate's moving away. Cabin crew, arm slides, please. Alright, so they've done that very well. So let's go back to this page. Before start procedure.
Are we clear to pressurize?
Yep.
Okay.
So I just asked GSC for the pushback. Oh, you know what? I need to start the APU. Forgot
Alright
to do
guys,
that.
everyone's seated. We're all buttoned up and ready to go in the back.
Thanks.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Alright, so I need to get the APU
I am ready
going
for the
here.
checklist.
Alright, so the APU starting up. I guess that's one thing I forgot to do. But okay, we'll deal with it. Alright, so the APU started, so we'll switch off of the ground power. Let's also go ahead and unhook the ground equipment. We don't need that anymore.
Go ahead.
And let's. Alright, so now we should be able to call up GSC. Let's see. Oh, it still thinks it's boarding the passengers? I don't know. GSX seems to be locked up. So I'm going to reset GSX real quick. Alright, so now let's do a pushback. Alright, so here we go. They're getting into position now. Well, that took a while to get taken care of. Alright, so now I need to also get my trim set it. I can't even see it. Wow. Let me see here. It's way too dark in here. Let me try now.
Hello, Captain.
Oh, I still can barely make it out. I think that's 5. Alright. So let's go ahead and get pushed out of here.
Locking gear. Departure check completed. Live has been inserted. Release parking brakes.
Before start checklist.
Before start checklist.
Commencing push.
Flight deck
All
door.
engines clear.
Closed and locked.
Start at will.
MCP.
V2 175. Heading 155. Altitude 31,000 set.
Takeoff speeds.
V1 169. V2 172. Excuse me. Let's start over. V1 169. VR 172. V2 175.
CDU pre-flight.
Completed.
Completed. Trim.
4.7 units 0 and 0.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Before start checklist complete.
Alright, so finally that window's closed. Alright, so let's see where GSX is going to take us. It actually didn't even ask me what direction to turn, but I think it's because of the terminal building that's over there to our right. So I think it's either going to just push, it's probably just going to push us straight back. I guess we'll see. I think I'm going to go ahead and start both engines on this one. A lot of times I do a single engine start, but Runway 16 right isn't too far away, so by the time I get out there, I'll be having to start up the other engine anyway. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do both engines.
Set parking brakes.
Start right engine.
Starting right. Oil pressure.
There's the fuel.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pane removed.
Alright, so it's RML nav and VNav. Start left engine.
Starting left. Oil pressure.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Alright, so we got the second engine starting up here, looking good so far. Alright, so we have two good engine starts. Flaps 5. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Let's get a controls check. Huh, my rudder's deflected to the... Oh, there it goes. I'm not sure why I did that. I hope that's not going to be a problem with it. First pulled it up, and even though my rudder pedals were centered, it was deflected full left. Not really sure why. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Anti-ice. Auto. Recall. Checked. Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Nose light on.
Nose light coming on.
Alright, so let's go. Alright, so we should take taxiway, I believe it's Golf, over to Alpha, then Alpha 1, and then we'll be at 16 right. Shouldn't take us too long to get over there. Alright, so I do believe this is Golf, at least I hope it is. Alright, looks like it is. That's hotel over there. Oh, I just realized I still got the storm lights on. Alright, so now I'm looking for taxiway Alpha to the left. Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist complete.
And here's Alpha. So looks like we got some. What is that? Looks like a 777. Oh, Emirates. Okay. Should I assume he's headed to Dubai? Maybe. Alright, so on departure, we're just going to climb to 800 feet, and then we're going to make a left turn to Dipsy. Excuse me, Dipso. Then that's file, so not really a departure procedure, it's just going direct.
The cabin is ready.
To a fix and then over.
Cabin
Wow.
crew, take your seats.
That airplane just shifted back kind of weird. I guess he's gone. So this should be Alpha 1. Let's see, and also I guess I'll mention climb out speed. We're going to try to go V2 plus 20. That's usually my target speed. Kind of heavy though. I feel like I might want to go V2 plus 15. But, you know, I guess ultimately it doesn't matter as long as you're above V2. So it looks like he just went airborne. Let's check the approach. I don't see anybody else. Runway entry procedure. Runway entry procedure.
Check.
Alright, so there's him climbing out there. I don't see anybody coming in to approach, so I'll go ahead and enter the runway environment. Alright, so let's spool up to 40. Start the clock. Take off. Take off.
Check.
Alright. And there's the toga.
Thrust set.
And it looks like I'm losing
80 knots.
textures. I wonder why. That's awesome.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
feet. Climb.
Flaps 1.
Speed check, flaps 1.
Look at that. The flaps up speed is the same as the climb out speed. Flaps up.
Speed check, flaps up.
After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete.
See if we can get a nice view here. Let's try right wing aft. Oh, excuse me, left wing aft. Love it when the plane's trimmed right. You don't even have to hold on to the yoke. Never been to Australia, but I hope I go one day. Maybe to be in my near future. Although I'm afraid to get in the water. I hear the box jellyfish are pretty bad.
10,000 feet.
Alright, so let's nose it forward here. Down to 5 degrees. We're going to accelerate to 320 knots. Alright, so let's nose it up a little bit. Maintain 320 knots. Transition altitude, standard set.
Standard set.
D-rate should wash out here at 12. And there it goes. So now we're at full climb power. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and keep on hand flying it. I mean, it's not that difficult to do, I guess. So I'm not having to handle ATC as well anyway. So might as well hang on to the controls a little while longer and have fun with it. Heading 048. Alright, and I guess I'll go ahead and turn on the autopilot. We're through 20,000 now. So autopilot's now on. We'll let the computer do the flying for now. Alright, so crossing 22,000, we're headed on up to 31. I'm going to go ahead and get on off of here. We'll catch up with you guys when we get near top of descent over in Los Angeles. Hello everyone, we are back. Just in time for me to get ready to do a descent checklist and contact center. LA Center, United 840 Heavy entering your airspace from the west. 44 nautical miles from Rosin intersection, flight level 390.
United 840 Los Angeles Center, hello, squawk 7172.
Set 7172 on the transponder, please.
Set.
7172 in the box, United 840 Heavy.
United 840 Heavy, you're ready to contact as reported. Send pilot discretion, crossing boat, how to maintain 1-2000.
Pilot's discretion to 1-2000, United 840 Heavy, thanks.
Altitude roll back.
Alright, so we got PD to 1-2000 now. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this a little bit. Alright, so looking at the arrival chart, looks like
what's your Mach number?
At Goats intersection they want us 280 at 12 knots. Looks like that's in there. Also at Santa Catalina Vortac they want us at 12,000, so that's in there. So it's going to be 12,000 for a little bit here before we begin our descent on down, but it looks like all the fixes are in appropriately on the current charts for Buffy 4, so that looks good. I have no issues there. So let me get the briefing done. Our system is star. Probably Cat 1, barrel 200 looks good. Landing config 30, runway dry. I guess I need to go on the Top Cat real quick and get some numbers. Alright, so I've looked at information. The ATIS for LA, it's the ATIS information uniform. So we'll probably get the ILS to runway 25 left. According to Top Cat, I need to use auto brake 3, and I need to have the ground radar on when I get there. So we'll get into a gate, and I'll go ahead and turn on the terrain. There is some mountains in the area, so I will, or hills at least, so I will turn on for that. Alright, so let's get a approach briefing.
Delta 22, contact
Are you ready for the approach
13.2.
briefing?
Go ahead.
Any questions?
No questions.
Approach briefing complete.
November 350.
Alright, yeah, I usually do my approach briefings that way because, I mean, you just kind of say whatever you want. It doesn't really know what you're saying. But it knows what you put in this. So I do try to make sure that's correct because that's what the first officer is going to go based on. Alright, so let's reset the MCP altitude to 12,000. And I'm going to go ahead and set vertical speed. And I'm going to set it at 1,500 feet per minute until we reach our glide path. And let's set this to Mach 822. Alright, that's set. That's good.
FX 2106, contact LA Center 133.55. Roger, going to 133.55. FedEx 2106. Citation 0, Echo 0, contact approach 28.5. 28.5 for approach, 100 Echo 0.
Alright, so let's go ahead and set our mins. Alright, mins is going to be 200 feet, according to the charts anyway. Alright, so mins are in there. Looks good. And switch this back over to inches. According to the ATIS, the pressure over in Los Angeles is 299.7, so we'll set that in. Still on standard at the moment, but have that ready to go for when the time comes. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the briefing with myself. Alright, so we're on the Buffy arrival. After Seal Beach, we should get vectors to runway 25 left. Alright, once we get on the ground over there for 25 left, how are we going to get to the taxiway? So it'll probably be Hotel 4 or Hotel 6. We'll get off and it will probably cross either on Bravo 6 or Mike. And then we'll taxi back on either Bravo or Charlie to gate 76. Well, I mean, obviously we've got to wait to see what ATC gives us. But that's probably, it'll be something like that or something close to that that we'll get. On missed approach, let's see.
West 337, contact Vex approach 13510.
Alright, so for the missed approach, it'll be climb to 8,000, then left turn to up to 2,000 feet on a heading of 190 until you get to outbound radio 210 for LA VOR. Until you get to Catley intersection. So let's get that set up in the box. Might as well. We may get it, we may not get it, but I want to have it ready if we do. So LAX.
Sorry about that route. Yeah, 3395.
And the bearing is going to be 210.
Right, good day, Klax,
and that's going to be to Catley intersection. So I'll set Catley intersection here. And you know, this is just one way I can do this misapproach to have myself set up. It's not anything official, but it's just something I like to do.
120.5, thanks a lot.
Alright, so that's set up there. So we'll fly a heading of 190 if we go missed until we get to the 210 radio for LAVR, and then we'll track to Catley. Unless, of course, ATC gives us something different, which usually they do. But in case they don't, we'll fly it as published. It looks like while I was talking, we passed our descent profile. So I'll go ahead and switch to VNAV. We didn't miss about too much. We're just 700 feet above, so we can make that up pretty easily. All right, let's do a descent checklist. Descent checklist, please.
Stand by. Descent checklist. Recall. Checked. Notes.
Checked.
Auto brake level 3. Landing data.
VREF 137, minimums 200 feet. Set. VREF 137, minimums 200 feet. Set. Set and checked.
VREF 137. Minimums 200 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist complete.
Lately, I just want to say set and check on everything because I almost feel like I know she's going to screw it up. But in any case, she does a good enough job that I keep her around. Alright, so we're not really catching up with the glide path. I mean, we're not off by much, but I'll go ahead and pull out the boards, also known as speed brakes, and we will match up with our glide path like we should.
Stingray 24, follow 36 here, we're back on board.
Stand by.
Now we're getting below it, but that's not as big of a deal.
LA Center, this is Method 2106 Heavy, start with you, proceeding direct to target.
It's probably going to get really busy. They're having an event over here in Los Angeles, and there's a lot of centers and things open, a lot of traffic going in, so it's probably going to get pretty busy.
Stingray 24 on board 2360.
So I'm going to go ahead and switch to standard altimeter. Approach checklist. Oops, muted as usual. Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeters.
2997 set.
2997. Approach checklist complete.
Alright, so it's supposed to cross Goats intersection like as published. 280 knots and 12,000. So we're just continuing our march on down.
Hurricane 370 for Gates.
1,000 feet to level off.
Alright, so we're almost to 12,000 feet, and we need to slow it on down to 280. We are 5 nautical miles from Goats, so we should make this crossing restriction.
Correction, cross channel, enemy.
Gaining 8,000, positive discretion, pleasure up.
Alright, so it looks like we're making this crossing restriction just fine.
Through flight level 12,200 for 155.
American 627 Los Angeles Center, client maintain flight level 230.
Delta 230, American 627.
Compass 5937, just gonna maintain 14,000. United 840. United 840, contact approaching 4.5.
I was at 124.05.
124.50.
Approach 124.5, United 840. So long. LA approach, United 840s, level 12,000 with information uniform.
Okay, 848 approach, good afternoon. Descend via the Buffy 4 arrival, Vectors ILS 25 left approach, LL 2997.
Buffy 4 arrival, we'll expect 25 left, United 840 heavy. Alright, so we'll descend on the Buffy 4. Looks like we'll get 25 left for the arrival. Alright, so descend via Buffy 4, so the last altitude restriction on the Buffy 4 is 7,000, so I'll go ahead and set 7,000 in. And I'm also going to go ahead and change that.
Number 104, Mike Whiskey, contact Hertz on 128.5 today. 128.5, thanks for the help, Mike Whiskey.
Alright, so now we're slowing to 250 before we get to fit toe. Or at fit toe, I should say. Next heading is going to be 022.
SoCal departure, good evening, Southern Air 457, climbing for 2,500 for 6,000, heading 180.
Southern Air 7457, approach to radar contact, climbing change 6,000.
Continue climbing 6,000, Southern Air 7457.
Just want to let you guys know, sorry if I'm not talking about every single thing I do too much. This is Los Angeles. Los Angeles has a lot of traffic by United. So just trying to make sure I listen out for my call sign here. There's a whole lot of traffic going in, so I want to make sure I don't upset the controllers by not paying attention. But I will try to let you guys know about the important things that are going on.
Visual approach to runway 31 left, on spring altimeter 2993. Expect visual approach to 31 left, altimeter 2993 route.
Alright, so getting ready to cross 10, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the wing and logo lights. First officer is going to do the landing lights and runway turn off lights and all that stuff.
SouthernAviator 7457, turn west, direct still beach, resume on navigation.
Direct still beach,
10,000 feet. Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
So next heading is 341. So we'll set heading 341.
Traffic. Traffic.
I don't know why, but when I'm using Vatsim, I get traffic alerts for planes that aren't anywhere close to me. It only lasts a second, but I get them sometimes. I don't really understand why. Not a big deal, but. Alright, we're going to cross Buffy at or below 8.
Okay, 840 heavy, cross still beach at me, 7,000.
Center maintain 7,000, United 840 heavy.
United 840 heavy, contact, so approach 128.5, good day.
SoCal approach 128.5, United 840 heavy, so long.
Thousand feet to level off.
November 9 Tango Yankee flight 20, intercept runway 25, left localizer.
220,
SoCal approach United 840, 7.5 for 7.
United 840 heavy, SoCal Mattress apart, beach heading 320, vectors runway 25, left, descend maintain 4,000.
Center maintain 4,000, heading 230, United 840 heavy.
840 heading 320, 320.
Correction 320, United 840 heavy, thanks.
Los Angeles approach Delta 2160,
21 SoCal Mattress landing at 220, intercept runway 25, left localizer.
220, intercept localizer, Delta 2160.
Alright, so we got the approach set in.
The Niner Tango Yankee is 3 miles from Gate Cross Gate, 3 down by left, 3 down left, runway 25, left approach.
Alright, I'm going to try to get down a little quicker here because I'm going to have to slow down quite a bit.
United 853 to 7 maintain 7,000.
Descend to 7,000 at 853.
Delta 2160 to 7 maintain 5,000.
5,000, Delta 2160.
Delta 9 Tango Yankee, contact LA Tower 120, prime.
120, Tango Yankee.
United 853 depart Santa Monica heading 070, vectors to final.
Depart Santa Monica at 070, United 853.
1,000 feet to level off.
Alright, I'm going to try to slow it to 210 here. Now let's make it 220.
The ILS approach.
Flaps 1.
2509 SoCal Mattress maintain 250.
Oops.
Traffic. Traffic.
Flaps 1.
Speed check, flaps 1.
Delta 2160 with speed at 210.
Alright, 210, Delta 2160.
United 840 to 7 maintain 2,500.
Send maintain 2,500, United 840 heavy.
Traffic. Traffic.
Flaps 5.
Speed check, flaps 5.
Yeah, just to the right with 10,000. 22, roger. Traffic 2150 is 4 miles from the gate, cross gate 5,000 or above, clear to Alice, runway 25 left approach. United 840 fly heading with 280 and that's runway 25 left localizer.
1,000 feet to level
Heading
off.
280 for 25 left, United
Traffic.
840 heavy.
Traffic.
So that approach, good afternoon, 77457 over Kill Beach 6,000. 7457, something like that, down from the 1397. 897. And 4 Mike with the heading 3.020 is sequence. 120, I'm heading for that basically. United 840 is 4, pressure 5 pounds from Lima, maintain 2,507 on the local line.
Radio altimeter aligned.
Flight load. Descend and maintain 2,500 total
Cabin crew,
established.
take your seats.
Cleared ILS, runway 25 left, United 840 heavy.
United 853, descend and maintain 2,000 center. Descending to 2,500, yeah, 853. 60 constant, turbulence, you're 5 and 0.5. Pressure 6,000 travel with a heavy Boeing 777. United 840, contact Los Angeles now, 1209, get in.
Was that tower 133.9?
Anyway, 12095 for United 840.
Copy that. Contact tower 120.95, United 840 heavy, thanks. Flaps 15.
Speed check, flaps 15.
74160, contact Los Angeles now, 1295, get in.
Los Angeles
Cabin
Tower,
check.
United 840 heavy is established. ILS 25 left.
November 729er Tango Yankee.
You're
no
down.
delay to left. November 729er Tango Yankee, no delay. Exit left Alpha 7, short of Alpha, contact ground point 75 today.
No delay, Alpha 7 Alpha, ground point 75, midday 988.
United 840 Heavy, LA Tower, traffic's rolling out. Wind 25006, runway 25 left,
1,000
clear to land, one
feet.
departure.
Approach
Colorado.
not stable.
1,000.
25 left, clear to land, United 840 heavy. Flaps 30.
Speed check, flaps 30.
Delta 2160, LA Tower, good evening, 7 miles from trail, heavy 777 on a 2.5 mile climb. Make turbulence, runway 25 left for the line.
Landing checklist.
United 2139, thanks to Alpha, contact departure today.
Landing checklist. Landing checklist complete.
Departure, United.
500 feet.
124.3.
Or to 124.3.
500. 400. 300. 200.
Approaching minimums.
Approaching minimums.
Landing.
100.
Landing.
Checked.
Minimums.
Minimum.
Minimums.
Speed brakes up. Reversers normal. $60 knots.
Manual braking.
Check.
United 840, the exit right when able, join hotel.
United 840 is vacated 25 left.
American 840, roger. Right on Mike, cross 25 right, short of Bravo, contact ground attack.
Was that for United 840 Heavy?
That's correct, turn right on Mike, cross runway 25 right, hold short of taxiway Bravo, then contact ground.
Right on Mike, cross runway 25 right, hold short of Bravo, United 840 Heavy, thanks.
Information requesting taxi.
Cargo 8401, Los Angeles ground only 25 left, taxi via Alpha 1, Alpha, Foxtrot.
Taxiing 25 left via Alpha 1, Alpha and Foxtrot from Lufthansa Cargo 8401.
I'm trying to make sure there's no traffic around. Lights and doors.
Cabin crew disarm doors and cross-check.
Delta 2160, Los Angeles ground welcome Los Angeles, taxi gate via Bravo.
Taxi gate via Bravo, Delta 2160, thanks.
Alright, shut down the right engine. We'll wait on the ground to hook up the ground power. Alright, so there's the ground power, so we'll shut down the left engine now. Turn off the green lights.
8401, monitor Los Angeles 120 flight 95.
One two zero nine five four.
I am ready for the checklist.
Shutdown checklist. Oops. Shutdown checklist. Shutdown checklist.
Shutdown checklist. Parking brake.
Set.
Shutdown checklist complete.
Alright guys, looks like we made it safely. It's always a plus. We'll take a look at all the traffic and the ground crew and all that stuff. Well guys, looks like that's going to be it for this flight. Thanks for hanging out. I guess we made it safely. In any case, I guess we'll see you guys next time. See ya.